All right. Hello, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that little snippet we started the show off of. That is the first track off my new album, which is out now on my Bandcamp pages. I got an email. It's live on Deezer now already, and it goes live everywhere else, I guess, within hours. And so we're just going to hang out for a little bit. If anyone's in the chat, I'll answer any questions about the album. I'm going to show you guys some exclusives that are in the live edit DJ mix that I'm prepping for release. I'm going to then chop up the album and make it into a loop pack. What other exciting things are going on? I'm trying to get Tim Henson's attention for a collab, and he liked a tweet of mine today. So, positive on that. One step towards making that happen. And then, I got some opinions to say about the internet. And let's just get them out of the way first. So, all social media platforms, for the most part, suck for their own individual reasons. And it makes being a musician really obnoxious on a lot of levels. Because we're all sort of expected to use these platforms to reach more people and to share our music. And so let me just go through my gripes with each of them. We'll start with Facebook, because that's the simplest of them. Facebook is bad for promoting your music because it only really wants you connecting with people you've connected with in real life. If you want to connect outside of that, they expect you to use their pages, their groups, their businesses. And with those, it's very much a pay-to-play thing. You could post something, and underneath it, it will be like, want to get more exposure on this post? Pay us money. Instagram, kind of similar. Instagram's got a whole nother problem, though, and I did take a screenshot of it, but if you're a musician, you're so familiar with it that I don't even need to show it to prove it. Instagram has this issue where everyone and their fucking mom seems to be operating some sort of pay-to-play promotion thing. So it's like you put out a new song, or a clip of a song or something, and your likes and everything are just inundated with these like spam bot pay me promo things. SoundCloud, it's here and there, you get a handful of them, but they're pretty good at removing them right away. So let's get on to the juicier of ones. Twitter at this point is, and part of it's probably just who I'm following and things like that, but Twitter is inundated with such partisan hackery on the far left, and mainstream leftists who don't even realize how far they, like, this is how far left they are. I forget what spurred the initial conversation, but I had some woman on there. It was something about voting and things like that, and I'm basically like, I'm an anarchist. My positions are, you don't speak for me. I don't want you claiming you represent me. This is why I'm also vehemently against this whole the blank community. Insert whatever. I've always said there may be certain things that I may be. I may be Caucasian. I may be a male. But by no means does that make me anything other than Jamie. Sharing one commonality, that may be the only commonality. So to try to extrapolate some sort of knowledge or stereotype out of that, it's just stupid. So anyway, this woman basically, and it's one of these things these people do where they dilute themselves into believing that their ideal situation for the world is so simple and so basic that any and everything can fall under the umbrella. Like, I basically described basic trading with her where I'm like, I don't want to live under anyone's rule. I just want to be a sovereign. I want to make my music, sell my music, and get paid for what I sell. Very straightforward business dealings. And her response is, oh, so you're a communist. What? No, I'm telling you, I'm vehemently rejecting the idea of community. I want all of my communal interactions to be completely free association. I'm going into a town to buy something. Step on my property, I'm liable to shoot at you type of living. And out of that, you're getting that I'm on some one for all, one for, or all for one for all communist type vibe. So then she basically then says that trading and bartering is somehow communism. So I had to explain to her, no, I'm for free enterprise. I have a product, you have something I want. Would you like to exchange my product for what I want? You get, I get, we both walk away happy. Very simple. There's no one up above us trying to evenly divide anything or anything like that. So where, like, what this woman thinks communism is, God help us if there are more people out there like her. But I mean, there's like, here's just a basic example. If I interact with any of these average pronoun in the bio people on Twitter, and I've heard Eric July say this too, actually, this past week, there's a initial, well, the GOP, you must support a Republican GOP. And it's like, no. I can just say, hey, that party over there has bad ideas. That doesn't mean I'm on the other team. That just means I'm saying they have bad ideas. So that's Twitter. That's Twitter in a nutshell. I mean, is like half the time I'm there, I'm just like, why am I here? Now let's talk about Discord, because Discord is the place I had hopes for. Oh, Discord. So you have all these servers for all these different artists. And at first, I was looking at this, I'm like, oh man, this is great. There's a Porter Robinson server, there's a Madion server, there's servers for all of these artists that I really like, and this is where their fans are congregating. And so if my music is heavily influenced by these people, and some of the songs I'm putting out are even remixes of these artists, well then, sharing my music with the people there, that's super simple, super obvious, right? Yeah. So, let me tell you, each of these servers then has other servers, hobbies, producers, music feedback, music collaborators, the artist on tour, the artist's merch, video games, blah, and it's like, it's just stupid. And I asked these people honestly, I said, what is the reason for all of these little subcategories? And the fucking mental gymnastics of the answers I got were like, well, it's so people on the servers can have conversations, but it can span across different topics, and that's why there's all these little sub chat rooms for all these topics. So, me being the, I guess, genius I am, just asked, so if you're talking to someone, again, you're on a Madion server, and you're talking to someone about, I don't know, video games, and then the conversation heads into more of a music direction, are you supposed to go into the music room to carry on that conversation? Like, if anything, it doesn't seem to encourage cross-topic conversations because you have segregated all the topics of conversations into different areas. And that being said, these people take this shit super fucking seriously. Like I went into a producer music discussion or new music discussion area, and I posted a link to my album and was just like, hey guys, here's my new album. Here's a link to it, and this is a recurring thing. So I'm posting, here's a link to my album, and for any producers or people who are out there, here's a link to the stems of my album. So if I post that in a new music discussion area, it's a problem because it's me posting my own music. So that's promo. That's not, you can't discuss it in the music discussion chat because it's promo. Um, I've had people tell me that me posting the stems to my music is me looking, talk about communists on Twitter, me looking for free labor, and that I'm just trying to get money from people. And I'm like, going to this person being like, buddy, I'm collecting pennies per stream like every other musician. Musicians make music for the fucking love of it. We're not all like, money, 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 money. But that's that materialist communist bullshit where you think asking another artist to collaborate is trying to exploit them for free labor. I mean, fuck out of here with that. So then, what was the other funny one? So people will ask me, oh, well, you can put this in the producer discussion area, but because you want to post the album with it, that should go in a different area. And I mean, you give these schmucks their little 2 inches of internet to rule over, and they're just nuts. They're fucking crazy. And I'm just like, what sort of musician or artist wants to be involved with this bullshit? I mean, like, I'm posting a 4 GB stem pack, and you think someone's just going to download a 4 GB file without checking it out first. But you want the album link in a different room from the stem link, and then I'm directing people from one room to another because you're all fucking crazy about what's talked about in what of these subservers. It's just obnoxious. So Twitter sucks, Discord sucks, Facebook sucks, Instagram sucks. I mean, really, it's a lot of it's just people who are so wrapped up on online and the computer. It's like I really wonder how these people operate out and about in the world when they don't have this like, oh well, you can't post it here, you gotta post it there, you gotta, and like, the thing I explain to them is, I look at going into a chat room like walking into a room full of friends, or like walking into a concert, and like the person that's appointed themselves the head of who can post what where, like, you're the buzzkill, you're no fun, you're the one that's gonna make it where people don't. If I'm having to fucking like ask myself, oh, can I post my album here with the stem link, or does it have to go over there? I'm not gonna bother because you're fucking petty, and it's like, these are the people I don't want listening to my music. I know it's bad for business to say there are people you don't want to consume your product, but if you're gonna tell me as a music producer who remixes big name artists like for fun, and I just do this, I there's such a compulsion in me to make music. People who know me, if I haven't worked on music in a couple days, I start getting angry and miserable. I've heard there's a famous author that has a quote about this, where like being a writer, and he's basically like, this is a demon and something I wouldn't wish to be inflicted upon anyone, because it is just this like deep, like this unseating like within you, where it's like uncomfortable to do nothing and to stay still, because you are just like driven to create, like you just can't stop. It's like a compulsion of, it's like, I tell people, I've made the metaphor, sometimes it's like pregnancy. If I take too long off of like doing a rock album, I can sit down and just do a rock album in a sitting. And by the fourth song, I won't remember what the first song sounded like, and it will just come out. And it's like, I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know what's inspired it. It's just, I sit down and it's there, and like, it has to happen. And it's, it explains why you hear a lot of these stories about like demon possession and automatic writing and all of this stuff, because it's very much like a I can't even, compulsion. So anyway, that's my ranting about all of these that's my little rant about all this ridiculous online stuff. So just Discord and all that, like, just people are so nitpicky and just online and angry and just want someone to henpeck and lash out at, and I just don't have time for it. Like, and especially if you're going to tell me I can't be a part of your community because I'm not a part of your community enough, the fact that you'd even come out of your face and say something like that is not very encouraging for me to be a part of whatever community it is. Like, who wants to be a part of a bunch of dicks? I'm trying to share with you this thing I've poured my heart into in my free time. And if you're going to get mad at me because I'm not bullshitting and wasting time enough with people to be receptive to it, your loss. So anyway, let's get into some good stuff. I'm going to show off some fun things tonight. So when I did the live mix, we got these 4 little mixes. I'm going to end with my favorites. I'm probably going to go in reverse order. So, and I did these, I can bring a Bitwig and show everybody, but I'm not going to play them from here because some of them I've touched up. But I was essentially doing a DJ mix of the album, and I kind of started to tack on little bits. Like, okay, so I'm a moron, and I mastered a demo of Higher for my album, and I didn't realize it wasn't the most up-to-date version of Higher, because forever Higher has just been these, like, synths that kind of build up and drop, and it's only like a 2-minute interlude. So I didn't realize I had a version where I added, like, vocal chops and stuff like that. But, you know, the way my approach is to music nowadays and the music industry and everything like that, alternate versions, the more the merrier, remixes. I mean, I was talking to Cans today about how, like, some of the stuff from our past work that I've worked into this project, and it's not in a, I mean, it's in a fun kind of way, where it's like, you know, I don't want those old songs really out there as much, but the things that were really dope, yeah, fucking sample it, use it again. I mean, I listened to Blood Diamond's shit, and it seems like until he blew that he maybe made 4 songs and then just kept sampling the shit out of them into newer songs. So anyway, And Space starts off the mix, and what we got here is I literally took the end of the track, this last little synth loop, and I looped it to pitch it down into the key of the next track, but then I also gated it, and I added some hi-hats and some drum loops. So from that, I've touched it up. I am probably going to get Cans on this track. Oh, I said I was going to go in reverse order, but I started explaining the best track first. So let's get into this, and let's all cross our fingers that Cans does hop on it, and it will become the first official remix of the album, which I want everyone to remix. The stems are out there. DM me, hit me up if you're a producer, a remixer. I have the stems out there. They're uploaded probably on a bunch of the recent videos. Probably uploaded on all the video uploads on my YouTube. Download them. Use what you want. Sample me. I don't give a shit. I will never come after anyone and sue anyone. Ask any of the artists I've ever distributed on Echoscape Records. It's all very much handshake deals and shit like that. You know, this is not a money thing for me. If the money comes, God bless me. I would love it, and nothing would make me happier. But my plan is my plan regardless, which is to sit on a farm in Tennessee and just make music. So anyway. You hear this? The snippet. The... Oh my god. The live transition for one of my tracks is like doper than anything on the album. I mean, kind of sucks, but it just shows you talent-wise where I'm at right now. I am only next level. And again, all that is me chopping up the sample from the end of Van Space. Ah, that's like if Poughkeepsie, New York was a video game at this rate, with the amount of shootings and shit going on. That is just like 8-bit ghetto right there. So, next let's check out the live edit of Thunder. And this is a song that, you know, when I say I want to be like the prog rock of EDM, I think this is the one that would get me that claim. But it's probably one of my least favorite tracks. I think it worked very well with the Lady Gaga Ariana Grande remix, which, speaking of Lady Gaga remixes, her remix album, pretty dope. A lot of good hyperpop stuff on there. Charlie XCX's track, the Plastic Doll remix is dope. So, Thunder, I wanted to lean, for the live mixes, I wanted to lean out of the video game bit for a bit and focus more on my bass playing. But then for this release edit, so okay, so the version in the live DJ mix is different from this version, which is more stuttery and chopped up. So let's check it out. So now, real quick, the intro in this, what you're hearing is basically all the instruments in the song pitched up an octave and processed through like a lot of coloring software, which a lot of producers don't know about. And I really enjoy informing them and teaching them about how to color your sounds, because people come to me more than I would have expected. There's been some interesting feedback off this project in just the pre-release. People asking me to do guest vocals. Never expected that. Never wanted that. But I will oblige. Um, and then a lot of people wondering just how I make my sound, and I tell them it's a lot of layering and coloring. When you're hearing a synth, you're probably actually hearing six synths that are all layered and processed through a lot of lo-fi filters and stuff like that. Okay. So yeah, that's the live edit of Thunder. So it's got that little bit where it's pitched up an octave, and then it just goes into that sort of like jammy, stuttery. Again, you can hear I've toned down a lot of the arpeggiators, cranked up the bass. The live version in the live DJ mix is a lot more bass guitar oriented because I figure if I perform the set out live, I'll probably be playing bass during that. Another thing that I do want to say, because I might chop this up and just, or do a whole separate video on just advice for producers and stuff like that. There's a bit of advice or kind of a revelation I came to that I picked up from my friend Ian, who puts out music under the name Comfort Within Noise. And I noticed that whatever track he was working on, he always played guitar on it. And part of it's because he sees himself as a guitarist first, I guess, or it's been his main instrument way before production. So, if he's a guitarist, he's going to play guitar on the tracks he produce. Dr. Luke, it's very rare that I feel like you heard a Dr. Luke track that wasn't guitar driven. And then Brett would always comment on my bass playing, telling me I play lead bass because I play bass like a lead guitarist. So I really sort of took all that in and was just like, you know what? If I know how to play these instruments, I should. And a lot of these that's one of the main differences between a lot of the tracks on I Am and the versions that were released as the remix instrumentals for many of the Thumper remixes is the guitar and bass difference, because all of the tracks I have for Limitless, which is going to be the next album, I mean, this album was basically like, I got to get something out. I'm going to give you something, because Limitless is exactly that. Like, the amount of time I could work on it, the amount that could be done with it. I've said it is my Mona Lisa, and it's like a Tool or a Nine Inch Nails album. It's not coming out till it's fucking done, and when it's done, it's gonna be amazing. And that's the one that's gonna have all my friends on it. Tracking's been done. I mean, I've had sessions or live streams where we've listened to large chunks of it. So a lot of these songs were intended for that. But again, because they were used as remixes and stuff like that, I want Limitless to stand on its own and to be brand new when it comes out and things like that. And I realized the longer I worked on it, the older some of the material would seem compared to when the remixes came out. So it's kind of like, all right, you know what? This is Thumper, and then on the next go round, you're gonna hear my take on some Cans tracks. You're gonna hear me doing some Brett tracks. Pete Kennedy is on it. I got a verse from D. Johns that's from an old Jamie Starr track that I've got a dope beat to. It's probably gonna be a lot more in the vein of, I guess, what you hear some of these tracks being like, as far as more bouncy and aggressive, urban, I guess you could say. You know, Limitless is the project I was describing as Daft Punk but black. So let's go into the next one. All right, Miss Me is titled Miss Me because I'm retarded. It should be called Miss You. In my head, I kept thinking Miss Me because it's it's part of an old Jamie Starr lyric. I'm just stupid. So whatever, it's called Miss You. The live edit, what it is, I think there's minor tweaks in the mix of the overall track from the album, but then it goes into a dropout part where you hear like a boom, chit, 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 boom, chit, 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 and then it goes into this whole switched up version. Again, the live DJ mix is in some ways better, in some ways this one is more refined. Live DJ one's more drum and bassy. You'll hear what I'm talking about. They're both still interesting. I think it's cool takes on what I had initially, and that's one of the things when I was doing this whole DJ set that speaks to the thing I was saying earlier about someone confronting me on Discord thinking I wanted collaborations to be some sort of exploitation and free labor. Like, I was getting so lost into working on these edits that I realized, like, I work on music the way other people play video games. Like, once I get going, I'm just going, and I want to see how far I can go. I wanted to see what sort of twists and turns could I do on this? What sort of creative, different things could I bring in? So it's why you hear a track like this that basically, instead of having a variation, it has 3 back-to-back variations and then goes back into the end of the song. And that's one of those songs where, like I talked about, that the guitar playing in it, like you hear with just that heavy distortion, it adds a dimension to the songs that was just not there otherwise. And you know, the thing about it, like I mentioned early in the stream, trying to contact and get in touch with Tim Henson. I'd love to hear him on a track one mind because I use so many arpeggiators, and that's like his whole milli style. Um, and we both have sick neck tattoos, so obviously. Um, but the thing is like with a lot of my stuff, I feel like if it was anyone but me playing the guitar, I wouldn't be as happy with it because I'm not a great guitarist by any stretch. I'm a decent bassist. And again, back to that lead bass idea that Brett always used to say is you can tell who my influences are. Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, Dive. Like I'm not doing anything basic, but there's very basic leads and rhythms that it's like I can work in, and I feel like most people it just wouldn't cross their mind to do what I'm doing. All right, so we got this live edit. This is the one I was talking about before with Higher. Then we're gonna check out a remix I started that I'm just sitting on for now. Do you hear this? Do you hear how fucking good I am? So good. Oh, get ready. Here we go. Here we go. I mean, you hear that? Amazing. Who does the best remixes of my track? I do the best remixes of my track, and all I'm trying to do is connect my tracks to my other tracks. And that's the magic we come up with. So you know, this is like the predicament I'm in where I'm like, oh yeah, everyone check out my album. My new shit is super dope though. Like, I don't want to undersell the album, but I am over the moon with these new little fucking beats I've whipped up. What a predicament. I'm awesome and I'm extra awesome. And after I'm awesome, I get even more awesome. And this is the whole point of Thumper, like, to dissociate from my older stuff as much as possible and to be like, no, this is where it's at now and it's only gonna go up from there. So that's the new stuff. All right, and this is an edit, work in progress, that I've been working on, but it just cracks me up. In here, I wanted to make it like an upbeat party. It's very like the Marvel What If episode that just aired. The Thor party boy Thor. This is it. They're going to jail tonight. Prize. Like, what's wrong with me? He's singing about priors and there's this like, I really wanted to bring in like this funk Prince, the purple, right on cue. I'm gonna post my pale tonight.
That's my celly. Made in the image of God. That's a selfie. Pray 5 times a day. So many felonies. Who gon' post my bail? Lord, help me. Hold up. I'm with your baby when I touch back road. Told him stop all of that red cap. We going home. Not me with all of these sins. Casting stones. This might be the return of the throne. Throne over and Jesus, like Moses and Jesus. You are not in control of my thesis. You already know what I think by think pieces. Before you actually already told you who think he is. Don't try to jail my thoughts and think precincts. I can't be controlled with programming presets. Reset on my cell, in my cell tonight. Don't have to see you to touch you. This is what Braille look like. It's on site. If they take me to jail, call my girl, tell her send my mail. We know what hell look like. Still it's a hell of a life.
Yo, I'm listening to this being like, yo, those high-pitched squeaks are dope. Whoever did this. Also cracking up being like, oh, let me show you my hard beats. And then my ridiculous Kanye remix. I mean, it is dope. That sample is dope. I mean, that beat is dope. It's ridiculous mashed up with the Kanye track, which is kind of why I love it. But it's also really funny that I'm like, yo, check out these hard-ass remixes I got on my own album. And then it's like, check out this ridiculous fucking goofy-ass funk remix I did of a Kanye song about going to jail. I gotta show that. I gotta send that clip to Brett, definitely, because he will roll when he hears that. And speaking of stuff I've sent to Brett, and Pete Kennedy, I heard this song the other day. I don't think they'll strike me because they seem like cool dudes. So I found this song, and I know I got Limitless, and I've been talking to Dave about finishing up and getting out our project, but I'm thinking a single with Pete Kennedy. If I can get all the goodness just in one single, Pete Kennedy, then I'll just move on. But I have been thinking, I've got a lot of sounds set aside that are very Francis and the Lights. Oh, what's that chick I love? What's her name? She did the song with Francis and the Lights. I can't remember it. She was on Good Music. Kanye was putting her out. But if that might end up, who knows, Jamie Starr might come back and drop an EP that's like that. Do some shit like this.
Drank in every bar in this beach town. No love I found, and I'll soon be London bound. But she turned my wasted, do you know? I asked her if she's been to like it all. She said my drink left her mark on me, and now I know where I saw her before. I saw her. Shaking it up, shaking it up, shaking it up. Shaking it up, shaking it up, shaking it up. Shaking it up, shaking it up, shaking it up. Shaking it up, shaking it up, shaking it up, shaking it up now. You hit the beach, you're close to I bought my drink at the flamenco. At Desperado, where'd you live? The scene that set the night that you stepped close. She grabbed my hand held tight and told me I've never felt this way before. I poured her in gently and slowly. We kissed the night until the dawn. Oh, she said, I saw her down in the valley. Don't know her name, but nobody else makes me feel this way. Don't take my coat in the valley. Somebody fix me. I think I found her and she's shaking it up, shaking it up, shaking it up. Shaking it up, shaking it up, shaking it up. Shaking it up, shaking it up, shaking it up. Shaking it up, shaking it up, shaking it up, shaking it up now. I've been struggling, saving the peace of loving someone else. But your patience is a shining light on the path ahead. I just need a little more time to trust the things you said. Yes, here's my heartbeat.
I had my mic off. If I didn't say before, sorry, I clicked out of the song I was kind of jamming to, but that's my jam at the moment. I'd like to do music like that. This track is new. Maybe I should remix this one. And when I listen to tracks now, it's like I think of them with that sort of like DIY remix in mind. Like what frequencies are going to cut through? What will I be able to cut out? That I could do a lot of really cool stuff with, especially because it's a ballad. And maybe I need to do a ballad because I feel like every song I've taken to that sort of trap kind of place. But I remember I had a remix a while ago of the 1975's. It might be on my SoundCloud. The 1975's. I forget the name of the song. But the band Echo Smith liked it. See if it's on here. We can check a little bit of that out and then call it a night. I might have removed most of those. Okay, somebody else. Yeah. Yeah, maybe do some stuff like that to it. Probably wouldn't go as synth and dark with it. I forgot how like a. All right, let's check out "Friend of Mine's" on the night. Which song of his was the one I loved? Oh, this, yeah. I mean, doesn't it give you like old Blood Diamond vibes? So good.